Now, without further ado, our next act here on Sal's show is a wonderful, extraordinary, stupendous...
Oh, really? You're biased, you know it.
All right.
What we really have here is, okay, I will give you a little bit of an ego boost. The scourge of the air lanes, the doer of dastardly deeds, Captain David Forktongue himself.
It is always wonderful and I want to educate the youth of today with one of the greatest, wonderful, most extraordinary people throughout history, pirates!
All right, let's see just how good this lore of yours sounds.
Ahoy there, ladies and gentlemen. This is David Breen coming at you from Sal's show. And as you can see here, I'm wearing me pirate garb. That is because today I'm sharing with you me pirate alter ego, Captain David Forktongue. And as Captain Forktongue, I want to share with ye some wonderful stories about me time at sea as a pirate captain, as well as other wonderful pirates throughout the New England's history. Now, as Captain David Forktongue, let me tell ye a little bit about me past. My real name is David Stowe, and I myself was actually once part of a military ship and served aboard a proud military man, Captain William Warren. And old Captain Warren was a proud military man, and I served him faithfully, although I myself, my heart, was that of the freedom of being a pirate. Now, although I didn't enjoy being serving under the military, there was one wonderful perk that came along with serving under Warren. I, the good captain's wife, she was a wonderful woman, as I found out. And it probably wasn't the best idea that one of the crewmen caught me and Warren's wife together. The captain got wind of this and ordered that David Stowe is to be hung on the morrow for taking me wife. Now the morrow came, and his men went to the brig to pull me out, and where was I? Nowhere to be found. Now, years later, I would be seen on another ship, a smaller ship, and going under another name. My name at that point was Captain David Forktongue. And I myself was now flying under a flag of piracy. And you may wonder how I got the name Captain Forktongue. Well, 'tis because many people say that snakes' tongues look like forks, and a lot of people call them fork-tongued creatures. And many a people, including pirates themselves, referred to me as a snake in the grass. Now, as I said, I'm going to share with you some stories about some other well-known pirates, especially some in the New England area. Now, a lot of people wonder, how did piracy come about? Well, in the New England area, piracy came about in the year 1632. A gentleman by the name of Dixie Bull operated in Penobscot Bay, Maine. Now, Dixie was a fur trader. Now, one faithful day, he arrived back in Maine, and he was proud. He got tons of fur. He was going to make a lot of money. But just as he disembarked his ship, suddenly he was attacked by a group of men. They beat him and bound him and beat him and took all of his trade and left him for dead. Now Dixie arose and saw that all of his trade had been taken away, and he was angry and bitter. Now he was broke. And he also realized that this is a better way to make a profession. For you see, he also realized he had been robbed by a band of French pirates. So he himself decided that he himself would become a pirate. Now, assembling group of 20 to 25 men, Dixie Bull attacked English trading ships and trading posts around the New England area. Aye, and he made quite a bit of wealth, and he made quite a name for himself as a pirate. But one fateful day, a ship approached, and Dixie Bull and his crew attacked the ship and overtook it. And he went to the captain and demanded that the captain navigate him and his crew to Virginia. The captain would then refuse, and in a fierce battle, the two men would fight back and forth with swords. But eventually, the captain of the opposing ship got Dixie right in the chest, and Dixie would fall to the ground and was dead. And that would be the last we would ever hear from Dixie Bull, except for a poem which read, "A pirate's flag and anchor pull, Dan Curtis killed your Dixie Bull," leading readers to believe that Dixie Bull had died at the hands of that gentleman. However, there are those who believe that Dixie Bull did not die, that he joined up with a band of French pirates, sailed off to attack ships around the European area, and that he himself wrote the first line of that poem, just to keep himself off the most wanted list. Aye, other such pirates we have throughout the New England history. We have another pirate I want to tell ye about, and this man was even savage enough for me to get a weak stomach every time I think of him and have a shot of rum. Oh, my stomach would turn into knots. This gentleman's name was Edward Lowe. Now, Edward was a thief at a very young age, and he was married to a wonderful woman who unfortunately in 1719 died in childbirth. Now, old Edward, or Ned as he came to be known, was not the most stable person anyway. And I believe that when his wife perished, it pushed him right over the edge. Now, old Ned decided that he would be a pirate. Now, Ned Lowe made quite a bit of name for himself and was even quoted as a man of savage grotesqueness, as was presumed years later by a well-known author who many of you know of as the author of Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, had referred to him as a man of savage grotesqueness. Now, he would capture ships. At one such incident, he captured one ship and fought and killed many a man, and even took his sword to one of the high-up ranks on that ship and cut this man's lips off and forced another man to eat the lips. Disgusting, isn't it? Now, in 1722, old Ned decided to sail across to the land of Nova Scotia. Now, he had made quite a name for himself there, attacking fishing vessels and fishing posts along the area. One such ship he attacked, he forced all the men, although the fishing vessel's crew outnumbered old Ned's, he forced them all to join up as part of his crew. And this was reported by a young 22-year-old fisherman named Philip Ashton. Now, Ashton knows of this because Ashton himself was forced to join up as part of the crew. But old Ashton himself refused. And they took Ashton, bound him in chains, and every day would beat him and whip him and threaten him with death until he caved. Ashton did not cave. Finally, they arrived at an island in the Honduras areas, and old Ashton jumped ship, and that is where he hid. Now, Ned Lowe and his men tried to look for young Ashton. Ah, yes, but they did not find him. So they left him there, abandoned on that island, until years later a ship would eventually find Ashton and bring him back to the Nova Scotia area. Now, meanwhile, back aboard old Ned Lowe's ship, things were getting a little out of hand. His reputation as a man of savage grotesqueness was getting so bad that even his own crew had decided they had had enough. So a mutiny was held against old Ned, and they placed him in a lifeboat with no supplies or provisions, and they set him adrift in the ocean. Now their hope was that the sun and the water would be enough, and the lack of supplies, food, and rum would do him in. Now, they didn't estimate the fact that other ships might be passing along the area. Aye, and suddenly a ship approached, saw Ned Lowe's lifeboat set adrift, and they took him aboard the ship, catered to him, fed him, gave him a good meal. But then one smart man aboard that ship realized who he was. And then once they realized that they had just rescued pirate captain Edward Ned Lowe, they set up a noose around one of the poles on the ship, put it around his neck, and hung him right there on the spot. Rescued only to be executed. Aye. But pirating is not all hard work, for you see, pirates oftentimes engage in songs aboard their ships. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a song here. This is a wonderful song, and I'm going to share it with you right now. It's called Hull, Boys, Hull, and I'm proud to be delivering this song right here on Sal's show. Aye, here we go. Now, when I was a schoolboy, I lived at home at ease. Now I am a sailing man, I sail the wintry seas. I thought I'd like seafaring life, it's alright till I found it's a damn sight worse than slavery when we get off the ground. And it was haul, boys, haul, haul, boys, haul. Heave away the capstan, lads, and let's get off the trawl. When the winds are blowing, the ships are gently rowing. My Amma, won't you be true to me? Now every night in winter, as regular as a clock, it's on, we all sail wester like rise your oilskin frock. And then up to the capstan, lads, and then we'll heave away. Well, that's the cry in the middle of the night as well as in the day. And it was haul, boys, haul, haul, boys, haul. Heave away the capstan, lads, and let's get up the trawl. When the winds are blowing, the ships are gently rowing. My Amma, won't you be true to me? And when our fish are up on deck, are piling to our knees, we'll slip and slide and wonder why we ever went to sea. For the fish don't wait for lovers, as you might quickly find. Put on your oilskin jackets, lads, and leave the girls behind. And it was haul, boys, haul, haul, boys, haul. Heave away the capstan, lads, and let's get up the trawl. When the winds are blowing, the ships are gently rowing. My Amma, won't you be true to me? And when our trip is over and springtime coming on, we'll go out in a weather's no time for beer or song. And then the shores will sail the catch, it's easier to bear. For it's beer all night in the ladies' arms when we get paid our share. And it was haul, boys, haul, haul, boys, haul. Heave away the capstan, lads, and let's get up the trawl. When the winds are blowing, the ships are gently rowing. My Amma, won't you be true to me? And it was haul, boys, haul, haul, boys, haul. Heave away the capstan, lads, and let's get up the trawl. When the winds are blowing, the ships are gently rowing. My Amma, won't you be true to me?
Well, that's about all the time that we have for Sal's show for today. We do thank you for watching, and we promise you the next will be even better. And by the way, so will the Watch City Festival.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Sal's show. This has been Captain David Forktongue and the professor here from Watch City. We hope you enjoyed Sal's show. We'll see you next time, and hopefully we'll see you next time and at the Watch City Festival, Mother's Day weekend. Thank you, and good night.